Let's rendezvous.
Yes, let's rendezvous. Hey there, it's Tam, and it's time for another edition of Rendezvous with Antonio and Tam. I am Tammy Gifford, a certified law of attraction coach specializing in pleasure, and my partner in crime, Antonio. I will let you describe yourself.
Sure. How you doing? I'm Antonio Revamps, where I help you revamp your mindset and work on yourself for self-mastery. That way it will allow you to get all the things that you want in life. That's my purpose.
Mm-hmm. And we have an extra special show today because we have our first invited guest ever, and Nancy Telfer has agreed to come and talk with us today about self-empowerment. So Nancy, would you like to share some information about yourself?
I am a life coach. I'm not quite certified yet, but that's coming. And I am an author of The Choice is Yours. It's a book on raising your vibration to bring good things into your life. I also have a business called Telfer Coaching, and I help people, mostly women, to step into their power, releasing any self-esteem or confidence issues that they have.
Awesome. We need a lot of that, especially in this society.
Yes, absolutely.
Why is it that why don't we begin with you describing for us how you define what is empowerment?
I think that it's increasing your possibilities, your ability to make choices. When you have the empowerment, you make the right choices and step into accessing more information and resources that increases your self-image.
How do you think people lose that to begin with? Like what disempowers a person?
There's all kinds of circumstances that can lower your self-esteem. A loved one saying something like, you wouldn't be able to do that. You can't do something like that. Neglect, abuse, failing to meet your parents' standards. Your parents might want you to do it a certain way. You don't do it, so they put that on your shoulders. And then you have self-esteem issues. Same thing with friends, failing to meet your friends' expectations, lacking in praise. If you didn't get enough praise in your life, you're going to have self-esteem issues. Affection or interest. If nobody paid attention to you, you're going to have problems with self-esteem. Being the odd one out. Like if you're in school and people are criticizing you, you're going to have some issues there as well.
Right. And
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It brings to mind a question, because I know, like, for example, when I had decided to quit my corporate job and go the life coach route, and I know that my friends meant to be supportive, and they would say things to me like, well, if anybody can do it, it's you, Tam, and or you can always come back and work for us again if it doesn't work out. And I know that they meant to be supportive, but it wasn't very empowering. And so
No.
I just wonder, like, if you had any comments about, so, like, I don't think, like, my friends meant to set out to disempower me. I think they just kind of unconsciously disempowered me or made me doubt myself.
Well, and a lot of people, they focus on the negative, and they want you to have a plan. I have a friend that she also said, she says, I know someone who's a life coach and they don't have any clients. They're not doing it. So what makes you think you can do it? And I was like, whoa, and then I walked away from that thinking, no, don't even absorb that, because that's not mine. That's her doubt, and she's trying to put her doubt on me. And so that's the hard part, is being able to walk away from that and not let it get to you.
I agree that there was so much resistance there that you had to first prove who your worth to her. Meanwhile, she can't even prove anything to herself.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
she was trying to drag you into her struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great awareness on your part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was actually proud of myself for that.
right. It's a self-esteem issue, right? It's important.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it so important to have self-esteem and confidence and
It builds, like, it changes your whole life. You're able to do things that it's how you react to situations, much like my friend saying that. So people can say things to you, but when you're in your own power and you have the confidence, it's like, that's their issue. That's not yours. I had an example. I had a class just on the weekend, and I thought it would go quite well because I actually only charged $10. So I thought it would bring in a whole bunch of people. Only one person came. And I could have went into what a client had called a pity party and felt sorry for myself that I didn't attract any more people into the workshop. What happened was that one person got a one-on-one coaching session, and she just loved it. She paid me $20, and the yoga studio that I had booked didn't charge me because she knew there wasn't anybody. Like I told her, there's only one person coming, so she didn't charge me at all. So I was blessed by that. And then we were only talking for an hour, and then I went home and spent the day with my family. So without having the confidence, I could have been very upset about the whole situation.
mm-hmm.
But sometimes everything happens for a reason, right? It just wasn't the right time, couldn't maybe the right place. There's a lot of different circumstances there. But I think it's important because it's your choice, right? So now I was given the choice on whether to be upset or just go on with life and love it.
Right.
I agree. Adding on to that, it's all about alignment. So these other individuals, yes, you wanted more people to come in, and that was your desire, but people weren't aligned. And the only person that was aligned that day was that one individual. Maybe it was meant for you to give that one individual a one-on-one. Had there been more people, you can give all the attention that was needed for that one person. So what I came to learn through coaching is that, it's not about how many people you can get to, it's how many you can have impact on. So for right now, at that moment, it's just that one person. But if you could just change one life, that one will turn into two will turn into four, it'll multiply. So on that specific day, it was just that one person, but it allowed you to have that experience. And then from there, it's just going to manifest because your intention was to help. Whether it was 1, 10, or 20, your intention was to help others. You didn't say, well, I'm only going to help if I get 10 or 20 or 30 people. I'm going to help regardless. So that was the intention. The universe said, okay, this is what I'm going to give you for right now because of the alignment that was there. What can you do with what I give you? It's like, like the saying goes, if I give you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Whether you have 1 lemon or 10 lemons, you're going to make an effort to do. So you went and you did your part. And you held to your vibration and you stayed in harmony. And at the end of the day, it was a good day for you. So it's going to, how do I say, it's going to snowball for you and it's going to expand. It's just, you got to stick with it.
Yeah. I've heard Abraham Hicks talk about how when they started, or when, Esther and Jerry Hicks started, that sometimes they would talk to groups of 3 people. And it's kind of mind-boggling because Antonio and I, with our friend Leah, have been to see Abraham Hicks together. And, there's hundreds of people in there. You can't imagine that only 3 would show up. So he's coming. You've got hundreds of people lining up to come see you in the future.
Yeah. It takes time. It's just putting your intention out there and what it is that you want to deliver to the masses. And as you just focus on that being your purpose and your intention, because it's pure and positive and you're in harmony with it, those people will line up and they'll come to you. It's like they say, build it and they will come.
So, Well, and out of that too, I got recommendation to do some free coaching at a women's shelter here in town. So I'm going to contact them because I'm taking that as a sign. Contact them and go and talk to the women that really need it.
Very awesome. Very awesome. You see how that, because of that, now that's leading you to more people and more opportunity. And soon you're going to be too busy. You're gonna be like, what happened? Like, what happened to that one person that I had?
She's in the process of.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, she's in the process of.
Right. So why don't you tell us about your process of, how does self-esteem relate to law of attraction? Because that's pretty much what we're talking about right here, right now.
Yeah.
That energetic vibration. So why don't you tell us how you use that?
Law of attraction is like attracts like. So when you're having thoughts and emotions that are what I call stored in your energy field, your information field, you're going to be attracting the people to you to confirm how you're feeling. So when you're feeling down, you're going to attract people to you to help you to feel down. Until you raise your vibration, you're not going to attract the people and the situations to you that's going to help you to feel better. An example is a young lady that I'm helping that she works in a retail store. She attracts to her customers that say what most people call the nastiest things. They've said to her, "I don't want to talk to you. Find me someone who knows better." Or find me someone who knows what they're talking about. She left the room and was in tears. And I happened to come around. And what I heard her say was, that's okay, because it just confirms how I feel about myself anyways. And I thought, oh no. So I've been working with her and getting her to realize that person, it's their issue. Whatever problem they had is theirs. And once she feels better about herself, then she attracts better people to her. And she's discovering that now too, because it's not only attracting the people to her, but her perception of what it is. Because if she perceives the problem differently, then it's not going to affect her the same way.
Right. Yeah, I'm always saying I have my coaching buddy that I trade coaching with, and I'm always saying it's all about me. It's all about how I'm vibrating and what I'm putting out there. And as soon as that woman recognizes that it is all about her, it's how she's feeling about herself. Because there's those moments where I step back from what's going on, and I think to myself, I created this, like there's something about me in this, like how did I manage to pull this person into my immediate vicinity and that sort of thing. So it really is all about me.
And sometimes it's hard to remember that though, so you have to keep right on yourself, and so that you're aware that what's happening in the exterior world is something that's going on in your interior world.
Yeah,
definitely. To add on to that, her self-esteem, however she's feeling about herself, that's what the universe is going to reflect to her. So although that individual that came and was feeling angry, it's a negative emotion. She might not have that self-esteem and that confidence, and might have been having a not so great day, also negative emotion. So they both met because it's on the same vibrational wave, same frequency, same energy, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. They became a match. She was a cooperative component in her life about how she felt about herself. The other one was angry and said, well, give me more reasons to be angry about. Well, let me find a person that can't help me the way I want to be helped. So they became cooperative components to each other's life. For her, as you know, is that setting not only the getting your self-confidence, but also setting the intention. How do you want your day to go? Are you going to create deliberately or by default by reacting to what's happening? Having an angry customer like that, myself now learning the difference in coaching taking the course is that I get somebody that upset, I quickly do reverse psychology and say, oh, excuse me, I'm trying to do the best I can to help you. I understand you're upset. You might have some issues, but they're not mine, so please don't take them out on me. Because you quickly, when you stump somebody like that, they quickly say, oh, wait, you're right. Why am I yelling at them? Like most people will realize, like, yeah, you're right. You know what? You didn't do anything to me. I'm just having a bad day. I'm trying to help you to, So in helping her build her confidence and have her segment in 10 to see how her day is going to go, will help her tremendously. But like you said, it's building that confidence first and feeling comfortable within her own skin first, because if not, the universe is only going to keep giving her more of what she's feeling on the inside, regardless of what she says. I'm having a great day. I'm feeling great. No, the universe doesn't hear that. Universe hears how you feel, which is your vibration.
Exactly. Yeah. I had her read the book Loving What Is by Byron Katie, and she devoured that. She said that totally changed her life, because now when she has a thought, she asks herself, who would I be without that thought? Because we have control of our thoughts.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. What's the name of that book again? I'm sorry.
It's Loving What Is.
Loving What Is.
Mm-hmm.
Jot that down for anybody that's listening and they want to go ahead and reach out to Amazon or Barnes and Noble, their local bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm typing it into the chat box.
Okay. And do you know, Nancy, do you know the author's name?
Byron Katie.
Byron Katie.
Yeah.
Is that Katie?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I spelt it wrong.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure people...
I'm sure if people type in Loving What Is...
it comes up right away, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And that's the thing, when you come across coaches, you come across books, any kind of material, video, and you open up your mind to be receptive to new things that if you realize your life is not as good as you want it to be, and you become open to, okay, what can I do new, different to expand, my current knowledge and to bring more abundance and health, wealth, and peace into my life, prosperity. When you open yourself up like that, like you said, you gave her the book, she went through it and she's feeling better. And that's what she needed, because she knew deep within her being that there was more to life and she wasn't getting it. And as you started helping her, giving her the tools and ideas, examples, she said, okay, I got to go after this because it's what's going to help me. And that's the thing. When people do that inner work, like they taught us in class, when you do 1 year of inner work, it's the equivalent of 7 years of outer work. And that's the best you can do. So you think about it, if you do 5 years of inner work, that's 35 years on the outside. So imagine that. It's a lifetime or half your life right there easily. So if you can be working on yourself, that's huge.
I love it.
Yeah. So how have you used these processes for yourself and your own inner work?
It's really helped me out. I've come a long way. I've been in an abusive relationship, and then years of self-abuse after I got out of that. And it wasn't until I got into working on myself and doing the inner work that I changed my life. It's that decision that you finally make to change your life. Once you make that decision, it happens quickly. From there, I became an energy healer and a certified raw nutritionist. I had a practice of teaching people about the benefits of raw and living foods for over 10 years. And I gained my confidence to actually go out and have the classes and lectures and taught people how to do EFT, all kinds of fun stuff. And then my motto, actually, or not my motto, but my quotes that I loved is, you are what you eat and you are what you think. And then recently I just got into you are what you think a little bit heavier, because it's actually more important than the food. It is important to eat the right foods and that for the nutrition of the body. But if you're not having the right thoughts at the same time, then you're still not where you should be. So it wasn't until I got into the QSCA and studying to be a life coach that I realized that we are human magnets, and we can either have our life created by default or deliberately create it. So I choose to deliberately create my life.
Yeah, it's not good to allow default happening. You know, a good example I give people that I talk to, clients, friends, family, is you're going down a road, and do you want to go down the freshly paved road, and that's the deliberate road you want to go down, nice and smooth, and you just enjoy that feel while you're driving it, or do you want to go down the default road, which is the one that they just ripped up because they're about to repave it, and it has all the potholes, the manholes, and just about everything you could find, every kind of debris. And you know what happens if you go too fast on that road? You're going to wind up bottoming out and losing your car. So that's why I tell people, what do you prefer? What do you want to experience?
Yeah.
Same thing like they've told us in the QSCA. And Abraham says, you know, when you go to a buffet, you know, you eat what you want and what you enjoy. You don't keep eating the same thing that you don't like and dislike, and, you know, keep putting it in your mouth and, oh my God, I can't stand it. I hate it. Why do I keep, you know, and that's, most people don't realize that if you could do that with food, you could do that with your thoughts and all your actions. And like you said, it's all, I think, components, putting it together. You got the mind, body, and spirit. And in the mind, you know, you have your subconscious mind, where I would say is your higher power. Then you got the conscious mind, us living here in the physical. And then your body is, you also have to take care of it, because it's the mechanism, the machine that allows you to exist on this planet. So you need that physical form. And like you said, besides eating well, I also believe that you have to take care of it through rest and exercise. And do I mean that you have to be Mr. or Miss Olympia or a CrossFit champion? No. But if you get out, you walk, you know, get that energy flowing, you know, the blood flowing, and stretch out those limbs, whether it's a walk, a power walk, yoga, whatever it may be, you get the blood flow, everything circulating. And then, you know, the intake of the food, hydrating yourself with water. You know, most people in this country and in the world don't drink enough water. They drink more soda, juices, alcohol, and everything else, and especially a lot of coffee to put your body in such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not an alkaline state; it's the opposite of alkaline state. And you know what I'm talking about?
Too acid.
Very acidic state. And people don't realize that if your body doesn't have the water it needs to flush out those chemicals, now your body's going to start breaking down on you. And then you start feeling like crap. Guess what? You're not going to be able to think properly and say, oh, let me feel good today, because your body's not feeling right. So it's all work, you know, hand in hand, you know, mind, body, and spirit. So
yeah, proper balance.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that speaks to the importance of doing the inner work on yourself and changing your life through those self-esteem, by building your own self-esteem. Do you have thoughts about that you'd like to share with us?
I spent years reading books, book after book, and I was so interested in changing my life that I was focusing on external. And I would read a book, and that was great, jump to another one. And I was called, I think it was Tony Robbins that once called it a self-help junkie. And so I that stayed with me. It's like, oh, I'm one of those, because book after book, and did nothing that was in the book. So I was guilty of that. It wasn't until I stopped and focused on the book and what it said to do internally, meditate, all the processes, so easy, the gratitude list, all the easy stuff is what actually makes a huge impact in your life. But yeah, once you stop looking outside, you're able to activate the power within you to know that you have the control out of everything.
Now, you mentioned the gratitude list. Maybe not all our viewers are familiar with what that is. You want to explain that further? How a gratitude list can help with your self-esteem, etc.?
Absolutely. I always have my clients start with a gratitude list, and I still do it to this day. Is I first thing in the morning, I write down, 10, 15 things that I'm grateful for, and there's tons of things. There's so many people on this planet that don't have clean water, so that we have lots to be grateful for. We just take it all for granted. I'm grateful for the computer and the technology that we could speak all over the world, so it just raises your vibration when you do gratitude lists. You could, at the bank, when you're waiting in a lineup, you got a choice. Are you going to be angry because you're waiting in a lineup, or are you going to look around and I love the color of that wall? I love the photograph on that wall. And you just can, I think Abraham calls it rampage of appreciation.
That's
and
correct.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's adding to that. I loved, when I first joined the class, the course back in 2014. That was, if not, that is my favorite process, because our instructor, Julie, she would always pick different students to come on, and she knew that was one of my favorites. So whenever she says for a rampage of appreciation, I'd be the first one to hit the button to get on there, and it's done wonders for me, because you shift your point of attraction right away in your energy the moment you start appreciating, because of appreciation, especially using the word appreciation like the way Abraham says. When you appreciate, there is no buts. You're appreciating it in its entirety. You're not finding, oh, what's wrong, or what about this? You're just staying in the moment in appreciation of what you're observing, or what you're feeling or hearing, and it's wonderful appreciation. It just shifts everything, like you said. Whether you do it there, or I do it while I'm driving and I'm stuck in traffic, and I'm like, I'll look around, I'll look at buildings, the sky, whatever it may be. If I see a jet going by, I say I appreciate that jet, because I'm going to have one day. And or the car driving by me, it's like you said, it's appreciation is good, because it'll shift. And if you, especially like you said, you do it right in the morning, you just set the tone for the day. Yeah. Right there, you set the tone for the day, no matter what, because now you're vibrating at a high energy level, which is a pure positive, good level, and it'll bring all those wonderful experiences into your life. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little game that I like to weave into a rampage of appreciation is so to use your example, Nancy, about standing in line at the bank. I'm not an incredibly patient person, and so what I find myself doing, in addition to, it's really comfortable in here, or like you said, I love that artwork on the wall, I will say things to myself like, I am in line because the perfect person to wait on me is busy right now, and the universe is aligning just the right person to take care of my transaction today. Or,
perfect. I love that.
Antonio's example of traffic. I am being held here in this traffic jam because there's something I'm not supposed to be doing right now up there in advance. I'm being held here for my own protection, or I'm supposed to meet somebody here and that's why I can't leave, or whatever. So I'm always, or even when I'm on hold and I'm trying to take care of, something, and I'm annoyed because I have to take care of it. I'm annoyed because I'm on hold. And instead, it's that changing of perception of going, well, I have a telephone. I'm thankful for the fact that I can take care of this on the telephone, and that it can be remedied quickly. And I'm on hold because the most angelic, most understanding, helpful person is about to join me on the lines. So that's a little trick I play with myself to help me in my impatience. That
I love that.
Yeah. In myself.
Yeah, that's really good. One that I do with my girlfriend, and I do it at night. And I know Tammy, we've talked about it because she does it with her family around the dinner table. I do it with my girlfriend, either on the couch or at night before we go to bed. We take turns. Like a rampage of appreciation game, going back and forth. What are you appreciative for? And we don't say a big, 2 or 3 minutes, just 2 or 3 words. I'm appreciative for this or for that. And maybe you can add a little bit. So we go back and forth and we'll volley for maybe 3 or 4 minutes just to raise the vibration right before you go to bed. Because as they teach us in the course, is that if you go to bed in the vortex, then, if you go to bed in the vortex, you're going to wake up in the vortex, while you're slumbering. So it's just you just continue the process throughout that slumber state, that sleeping state, and then you wake up. You'll wake up in the vortex, as opposed to if you go to bed upset, you're not deliberately creating. And when you wake up, you might have, excuse my language, well, I'll use the word crap, a crappy morning, or even a crappy day. So, but that's what we do also. And I know Tammy's told me a lot, especially when she has her family over, her nieces and nephews, and they do it around the table. And I haven't had a chance to do it with a group of people, so I'm looking forward to doing that, because that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like a fun game when you're driving down the road. We were kids, it used to be find the green car. How many green cars can you find? But make it a rampage of appreciation. That would be fun.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
And the kids, I have 9 nieces and nephews that float in and out of we all live on the same street, except for one of the children lives several hours away, but so I see them a lot, and it's really fun to make them think about, well, what did make you happy today? So like at first it was hard to get them to play along because they'd be like, I'm not happy about anything, and I was just like, well, what'd you do today? And I went to school, I hate school. And I was like, well, then you can appreciate that you're not in school anymore. I appreciate being out of school. And so it's really, teaching them in a fun sort of way. And the more we just keep going around, and everybody keeps getting more and more turns, like it just turns ridiculous. Like, I'm happy I didn't wear my shirt inside out again today, and just like silliness like that. And it just kind of erupts into this just volcano of laughter, and then it just kind of fizzes itself out. But it really does. It gets everybody just really, like really fabulous energy, and I notice that when we do it, there's like less like sibling bickering that happens during the night, and those sorts of things. So it's a great tool. Rampage appreciation is a great tool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to the tools and processes, and I like to call them games because it just sounds more fun than tools and processes, what other things do you do like affirmations with your clients? Do you have other types of things that you do?
I do affirmations. I actually get them going on a list. There's a list actually on my website of a few different ones that I've given. One of my favorite ones is I love and approve of myself. And a lot of people have trouble saying that. And what I increase it even more difficult is getting to do it while they're looking at themselves, making eye contact in the mirror.
Yeah.
And Louise Hay did that, and mirror work, and that, how important it was. I know I was taught that was actually a conceited thing to do. And so there was issues having to get rid of that feeling within, because it's not. You are the most important person. You take care of you. You're taking care of everyone outside of you. Because when you change your energy, everyone around you changes their energy. So it snowballs into like just an awesome thing.
Right, and I just posted in the chat box Nancy's contact information with her website if you're interested in looking up those affirmations or learning more about Nancy. I've also got her email address in there, just so that we're not just saying that there's resources available, but we're going to keep them a secret. But no, it's all right there. It's all right there if you're interested in seeing that further. Antonio, do you use affirmations ever?
Yes, I do. And I do use affirmations. And the thing is that in reading materials, in the materials that I've read and things that I've gone through, I've come to learn that you cannot, at least for me, my experience, you can't say an affirmation if you're really not feeling it and enjoying the words that you're saying. Because if you can't believe what you're saying, then there's a contrast there, and there's a negative vibration. So what I would say is, when you look at yourself, and if you say something, if it's not believable, then you got to work your way up the emotional scale and find softer words that that are easier for you, that are more believable, that can guide you to that. If you say, oh, I'm fabulous, I'm great, I'm this, and you don't feel that, I said, no, I'm pretty good. I'm good at what I do. And, finding those words that are easier to, what's the word I'm looking for? Easier to flow with your energy, so that way you feel good about it. Because if you're saying A and you're feeling B, then if there's no match there, instead of you enjoying the affirmation, now you're finding all the reasons not to. Well, I'm not this, I'm not that. So another way that I do affirmations is using us as coaches, they tell us to use powerful questions. If you could say, I am beautiful, then you could also say, why am I beautiful? And as you're observing yourself in the mirror, you can find all the reasons why you're beautiful, like whether it's your hair, your eyebrows, your smile, your figure, whatever it may be, how you get dressed, whatever it is that takes you to that moment and finding, because when you ask a question like that, why am I beautiful? Then it's open-ended, and now it's infinite possibilities to get. The universe will deliver all those. But if you say something and you don't believe it, now you're going to be stuck there. So it's always, you, whether you use a question or you use an affirmation that has words, use words that are soft, at least for my experience, because if it's a word that you can't believe, then you're going against the stream and you're going to drown. I hate to say it.
No, that's totally true, because your belief system has everything to do with it. So you could look at yourself and you think, I look awesome, or you say the words, I look awesome, but in your mind you're thinking, I look crap, I'm fat, I don't like my belly, I got fat thighs, you could just go on and on in your mind. Oh yeah, I look beautiful. You have to really start at what do you see in the mirror that you do like about yourself? So I've had clients just start with, I love the color of my eyes, so, and once they start and find something, even a little thing that they like what they see, then they're able to move on to the bigger, more intense affirmations. But yeah, you have to start with something that they are going to believe in.
Correct. Because if not, they'll stay stuck there for a very, very long time,
Absolutely.
And it won't be healthy.
Mm.
And years ago, when I was still in my office, my employment situation, I would listen to Hay House Radio from the moment I came in the morning till when I left in the evening, because I needed that sort of kind of spiritual support. I just needed somebody to be talking to me in a way that uplifted me versus what was going on, where I worked. And I remember learning about Louise Hay saying that I love you, that to look at yourself in the mirror, look at one eye and say it, and then look at the other eye and then say it. And I started to do it, and I can't remember how long it went on for, probably months. I would guess maybe 2 or 3 months. I would attempt to say it, and I would cry. Like I couldn't even say the words. And It was amazing. And then, I don't know, it was after some time, something clicked, something changed. And then, it became fun. It was like, yeah, I love you. I really, really love you. And it was such a nice transformation. It seems like such a simple, silly thing. And like I said, in the beginning, I would cry. Some days I wouldn't even be able to say the words. It was like my throat just stopped working. But I would mentally do it. But so there is a progression. And obviously it's going to be different for everybody else. But that was how I knew I made progress, because I was actually able to say it and mean it, and and not feel. Maybe it's an empowerment thing, as I'm just kind of talking out loud thinking about this. But I think maybe the way I was brought up, that you're always supposed to be thinking about other people. It's like, no, I love you, as in all you other people out there. I'm going to put your needs before mine. And here I was actually stepping back and saying, no, I love me, and I'm going to take care of me today. So how would a person know if that they're making progress, while they're standing at the mirror crying, saying, I love you? How is that progress? How would you?
That's a hard one, because as soon as you start crying, it's like, I can't do this. And so they're more apt to back off and not do it. When if you persist and you keep going, then eventually there is a shift, and you feel better. Like as soon as you felt better and it became fun, that's when you know that it's definitely working. But it's a difficult path. And it's something that people have to remember, that you're worth it, so do the internal work and stick to it, because when you do, your life just unfolds like tenfold of what you would have thought it would have been.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important for people also to realize that you can't allow or expect anything or anyone to give you that feeling you want on the inside of confidence, of worthiness.
Mm-hmm.
That comes from within first. If you're always looking to somebody else to give you that confidence, that blanket of security, saying, okay, you're worth it because I said so. You know, this is going to sound a little harsh, but what if that person was never to be around ever again for whatever reason? You know, they move, they pass away, whatever it is. You know, so you can't hold on to something or someone to give you the validation that, okay, I'm worth it because they said so. No, you got to find that within. Because once you find everything that you ever need in life for anything and everything, the abilities, the confidence, the love, everything comes all from within. It was already given to you. It's just that you got to get through the mirage and the maze and everything internally in your mind for you to find it within. Because you don't have to go out there and say, oh, let me find it here, let me find it there. You don't go to find it. You're a magnet, so you attract it, and it all comes to you. You don't have to go, you know, in the physical realm here. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I had to travel from here to here to go get it. But in the process was we were both attracting to each other because what you want wants you. And if you find it within you, now it just starts coming to you as a manifestation. It's already all created. It's just up to you to decipher and break it down and crack the code, and for lack of a better word. And finding that validation within you, now the universe will say, okay, you're saying you're worthy. You're saying you're lovable. You're saying you're kind. You're saying you're abundant. Well, I have no other choice than to give it to you because it's law, and here it is. So once you find that worthiness and that validation and that confidence within you, universe says, I have to accept. And the universe doesn't care. It's not going to say, oh, well, I don't want to give it to you because I don't like you. No. If you abide by the law, it's like what I say. Life, the game of, it's all about the game of life and how you choose to play it. You got to know the rules, get the tools, and how I would say is get obsessed with self-mastery. Because once you do that, then you can control your destiny. But if you don't do those things, if you don't know how to play the game, am I inbounds? Am I out of bounds? How much was that point? How much was, like, if you don't know the rules, it's just the same thing with a recipe. You're making something to eat. If you're off by a teaspoon or a glass of whatever it may be, you're not going to get what you expect to get. You're like, oh, wait, I went to make a cake. This is just like pudding. It's really soft. Why didn't it stay? Why didn't it hold? And, you know, so it's very important to do that inner work and not rely on anybody else. Because once you do that, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And like Tammy said also earlier, adding is that, which I went through a lot, was I always thought that by me doing for everyone and being a so-called people pleaser, so I can get that love and that acceptance, that the more I did for people, that I would get the love and everything. If not, I just got used and abused, basically. Oh, here, you get out of here, bye. And whether it was family, friends, whatever it was, because I didn't feel the worthiness within me. And then later on, as I got older, I realized that I'm like, wait a minute. I'm hanging out with people that really don't care about what I feel or what I want to do with myself. They just want me to make them happy and their expectation. And then as I started hanging out with people that wanted to hang out with me for me, and they didn't expect anything of me other than just to show up genuinely and they enjoyed my company and never asked anything of me, I said, wait a minute, that's where everything started changing. And to be honest with you, I got a pretty big family and I wish them all the best, but I don't need to hang out with them or be with them or even acknowledge that they're my family for whatever reason, because, you know, it's like they say, a leopard never changes his spots, you know, and I hate to say it like that, but most people, until they don't do that inner work and realize what they're doing on self-reflection, they're not going to change. And you know that when you run into people and say, hey, how you been? Everything is good. Yeah, I've changed like this and I've changed like that. But they never say how they really changed. Or you look at their lifestyle and what they're currently doing, it's still the same thing that they're regurgitating over and over and over. And us, that we do the self-reflection, we see that and we could read right through it and we're like, yeah, this person's full of BS. Nice seeing you. Take care. And you keep it moving. Those that don't see that get stuck.
I think it's what you were saying before about the vibration, that you are not a vibrational match with that person, and so therefore it's just not going to work out. But I guess, part of that is that they're not taking the time to talk to themselves about their life. And so, Nancy, what recommendations do you have for when it comes to the way people talk about themselves?
That is a biggie too, because a lot of times people will say, I can't do this, or like I can't do it. I've never done that before. I can't do it. And all you have to do is change your self-talk. Like the young lady at the retail store there. I don't know. I don't know anything. Well, instead of saying that, to say that I'm unaware of that right now, but I can find out for you, so change the way you talk internally as well as what you're saying to people. Same goes with I have to go to work. Change it to I get to go to work. There's an energy to the words that you're saying. So whatever you're saying to yourself, I don't like the way my hair has gone today. Anything simple like that. You have to say, you have to say something different. Like there's always something positive to say or a way to say it. I have not quite mastered this yet. And my hair looked awesome this morning, and just leave it at that.
That's right. That's I'm in the process of. I'm in the
Yes.
process of.
I'm in the process of.
Right.
I'm in the process of.
I love that one. I'm in the process of lots of things on a personal level. I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm in the process. But I think that's part of it, that you can kind of just step back and laugh, like rather than be like, I don't know anything. I can be like, I'm in the process of learning to blab, or whatever it is that I'm taking on new on any particular day or week. But being able to be more gentle with myself and say things like, be like, no, maybe I'm not perfect at this, but I'm in the process of fixing my hair so it looks better, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, there's always something positive. The difficult time for people, or difficult thing, is to actually think of something positive to say. So that's to stop yourself from saying the negative and focus on how to reword that. That's the difficult part. But it's possible.
It is. It all is.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. And in our society, people have gone, for however long someone may be living, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, you've gone decades and decades of negative thinking, negative beliefs, and that becomes, you do it over and over, becomes habit forming, and it gets reinforced as you go out into the world, because of the law of attraction will reinforce it for you. And then the moment you try to change that, it's very, very difficult. Like an example I have is, like, if you have something that weighs 30 pounds, I would say that if you're 30 years old, something that weighs 30 pounds, and then if you've just only been doing it for about, a month, that's like an ounce, you tip the scales right there. What's going to weigh more? So as you start bringing that energy and changing, you go into a year of work, 2 years of work, then you gain momentum. But you can't expect 30 pounds to outweigh only if you've been doing it for a month, 6 months, or a year's time, because you have all those years of negative beliefs and habits and experiences that you've happened, that you would say to yourself, well, why should I believe otherwise? Because this is all I've gotten. This is all I've seen. This is all I've experienced. And most people don't realize that you just got to make that shift. You got to make that commitment to yourself. That's why I say get obsessed with yourself. And I mean that in a good way, because once you master yourself, then you know in what direction you can go in. But if you don't bother getting obsessed with yourself, nobody's going to get obsessed with you.
Yeah. Well, and the universe shows you the magic once you are, doing the work on yourself. You'll be shown all kinds of things. What do you want? And the universe will show you.
Right.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, Nancy, it sounds like you have quite a plethora of experience. So you life coaching and nutrition and just all sorts of things. So um, do you have a coaching package, or do you have, like, how does that work? If somebody wanted to reach out and talk to you further about any of the things that you brought up
Yeah.
today, how would they do that?
The main page of my web page is my package, and it's I give some free information there. It's like 3 keys to boost your self-esteem is on there. So there's 3 different points there. And then there's a package called 4 Weeks to a Magical Life. Now, this package has recordings that I had done. It was a teleseminar, and each week was something different. So I did 1 week was on attracting more money. 1 week was self-esteem processes. Reclaiming your natural health, and that's got a workbook. And then there's Mindscape Journey as part of the package. It's a bonus. It is a meditation, and it's a very cool meditation that brings you into your own sanctuary and where you can create your life. There's a TV screen that you put there. You kind of design it the way you want. And you put a TV screen where you could witness yourself doing whatever you want. And when you merge with yourself in the TV screen, you are actually bringing back the energy of that into your earthly form. And your subconscious mind thinks you've done it. So it's a good possibility that now all of a sudden you can do it. Or the fact that you're attracting what you want too.
Yeah, that ability to see it is so important. The ability to see what you want is so
absolutely. Well, that's one thing I've learned, is that the importance of knowing what you want. And I was a default creator for years. I played around with the law of attraction, but not to the point where I have recently. It all works so much better when you know exactly what you want. But not only that, it's why you want it and how you're going to feel when you get it. It's that feeling that's important.
Absolutely.
Another bonus in my package is the book that I wrote. It's called The Choice is Yours. And then I've got a nutrition book. It's Rawsome Nutrition, You Are What You Eat ebook. And yeah, that's about it on there, but all the information is there. And then if you are interested in purchasing that package, though, email me at nancy@telfercoaching.com, because I'll give any of your listeners or people that listen to the replay $50 off. It's selling now at $197, so I'll offer your listeners $50 off of the package. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And anybody wanting that website address or email address, it's all right in the chat box there. So check it out. She's got quite a website, extensive. I was looking at it myself the other day. Very, very nice. Very well done. So,
thank you.
I can barely believe it's 2 minutes before noon or before 1. The hour flies. The hour flies so incredibly quickly every time we do this. So any parting thoughts, Nancy?
No, just work on yourself. It's so important. Once you do it, it sounds simple, but do the gratitude list. Just be grateful and see how your life will change.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's greatly appreciated. It was very fun.
Thank you for inviting me. This was awesome.
You are so welcome. So you can also, anybody watching, I should have had this in advance, you can find information about me on my website, and I just put that in the chat box, tammygifford.com. Antonio, do you have an email address or something that you would like to share?
Yeah, I just put in my email there. If anybody who wants to reach out to me, more than welcome to. Thank you for coming on the show. Hope that today's show uplifted and empowered people to open their mind and expand to their greater self.
Yes, and we are Rendezvous with Antonio and Tam. We're here every Tuesday at noon. And so if you care to join us, please subscribe to the channel. Next week we will be having Coach Kim O'Neill, who is a career coach, talk to you about landing that perfect job. So join us here if you can, and if not, you can always watch the replay. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing. Noon Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Right, that's important. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, you want to show up on the right coast. So Nancy, again, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate that you did today. It's wonderful, and we hope to hear from you again in the very near future. You know, anytime that you'd like to come back, you are always welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It was a blast. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Boom. Take care, everyone.